Hi, good morning, Anita. I wanted to take you through your attic as promised with a video. So right off the bat here, as we get it into the attic, I just wanted to start to focus a little bit on those connections to the main supply. Those are the supply branches, those round flexible ducts, and it's not just your house, but a lot of those connections are very susceptible to just leakage and through time getting pulled away, as you'll see. So one of the things here, I'm going to try to speed the video up at points, but I wanted you just to sort of get a feel for this particular area. And it's a good opportunity for me to show you a couple of things. One, we're going to revisit those wooden boxes in a second, but you see how the duct, when it connects to the ceiling to enter the house, it's called a boot. And you can just see there's another, area of leakage there, which I'm going to point out here with the camera. And also you can see how that boot is basically naked. So there's really a lot of opportunity with your duct system in the attic just for improvements. Now along here you can see where you probably at one time had the roof replaced and there must have been some sheathing down at the edge. So some of the baffles got dislodged, and I just wanted you to kind of see how we install baffles prior to adding insulation. And the baffles just maintain that air channel from that open, like we were talking about, that open soffit, that overhang up into the ridge vent. So back to the wooden box, as I'd mentioned, those are there to cover the recessed lights in some places so that the insulation is not in contact with the light, which is good, but it's not really doing much in the way of, keeping the air from communicating between the house and the outside, which is the attic. And you can see, as I'd mentioned to you, just those cobwebs, and this is how we would treat something like that. We would put a box over it that's sealed, and then we would of course seal the box to the ground or to the attic floor. So I wanted to move along here, and again I wanted to demonstrate a few things, and here you can really kind of see where there's air leakage with this connection because the insulation is sort of discolored and dark there. And I also just wanted to put a little emphasis on the main part of the supply. That's where the air is, projecting out or blowing out. And there's just a lot of other areas where there's some places that could use some attention, because where the handler is blowing, that's where the pressure is greatest. So there's going to be, some leaks there. And then finally, before I show you how we would fix something like this, I just wanted you to see the one that I was mentioning to you that's really badly disconnected. So I tried to get it back up in there for you, but you could see that there's just a little bit of attention that needs to be given there. I couldn't really do too much. So how do we fix something like that? Well, we're going to take a canister of 2-part spray foam, closed cell, and we just want to go around and we want to hit any of those boxes you saw in this video that are naked, and we also want to seal all those connection points, kind of like you see here. So now I want to focus in on that wall I was telling you about, the knee wall. That's the wall that raises up with your slope ceiling. So you can see what we do with something like this. This is Ivan on another project, a similar type of scenario. We seal all the cracks and crevices with 1-part spray foam, and then we're going to make sure the insulation is all tightly in place. And the final step is we want to add an air barrier. We call it sheathing, and you can see it's that silver wrap, and we just make sure that everything is snug and the insulation is nice and tight, basically sandwiched between that silver paper and the drywall. Here I just wanted to show you a couple of things and point out some examples of how air infiltrates, exfiltrates, and how the insulation is important for blocking heat from the sun. And then I mentioned to you yesterday about the opening for the flue. And I just wanted to give you the bird's eye view of what I'm talking about. So this originates down in the basement with the chimney for the furnace and the hot water heater, and that runs up through the house, and that's that silver stack you see there to the right. That's the flue. And then you could see there in the video how it's just open to the inside of the house. So basically, what do we do to air seal all of these different holes and cracks? Well, you can see what Ivan's doing here. It's sort of a continuation of what you saw in the other video with the knee wall. But we just fill all of the cracks and crevices and the holes for electrical wires. We make sure that every possible connection point to the house that we can find gets sealed. And another prime example of one of these is a bath fan, and this is the Jack and Jill fan in your house, and you can see the discolored insulation. And this is just an example of how we air seal the bath fan. It's the same principles. We just use that slow expanding 1-part foam. It slowly expands, fills in gaps, hardens, and nothing passes through. Alright, so moving along here, this is going to be a part of the video that's maybe just a little bit boring, but I wanted to really kind of get back into your master bedroom area, adjacent to the bathroom, above the bathroom, and just tell you and kind of show you there's just a lot going on in this area, and it needs a lot of love and attention. It probably will never be perfect, to be perfectly honest with you, but there is really great opportunity there for improvements. So you probably can rewind this a few times if need be. I wanted to get through it a little bit fast. I didn't want to have to labor over it too much, but the point here is just that area during renovation, I think, was just discombobulated, and maybe some new paths. The walls may have taken new pathways, but you can even see here where I'm just looking right down in between a wall cavity. So all of that is going to lead to an uncomfortable bathroom, and it's going to wreak havoc all throughout the house and upstairs, quite frankly. So I wanted to say that yes, there's an area underneath of the bathroom that could be treated as well, but I think that might be something you want to consider after treating the area above, just having taken a second look here, because as you see from the video, there's just a lot of room for improvement. And then you'll back up there, but I wanted to show you that you're light on insulation on the slope ceiling as well, although it is well blanketed. And then overall, I just wanted to sort of give you sort of a broad view of your attic and give you a bird's eye view here. And I wanted to show you what it looks like once we start, after we've sealed, what it looks like when we blow the insulation on top of, for example, a slope ceiling in this situation. And I also wanted you just to get a look at a well-insulated attic, and how really you could remember from my video early on here that you could see a lot of wood, you could see things at the attic floor, you could see drywall, the ceiling, and this is an example of what the attic should look like. Full level, 13-14 inches, and you shouldn't be able to see the floor. Thanks for watching.